Sometimes you know you're beaten before you even start. You know what it's like. You turn up at a place having already pictured in your mind what you're going to see, and what is actually there bears no resemblance to anything you could have imagined. I experienced a very definite case of this recently when I went to visit the Cultural Palace of Nationalities, located in Beijing's Xizheng district. It was built in September 1959 and is one of the 10 Great Buildings. The 10 Great Buildings, for those who don't know, are 10 public buildings that were built in Beijing in 1959 to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic. They were part of an architecture and urbanism initiative of the Great Leap Forward, and most of the buildings were largely completed in only 10 months, by the deadline of the 1st of October 1959. In addition to their construction, there was also an expansion of Tiananmen Square and a campaign of art commissions to decorate the majority of the buildings by the time of their completion. The structures were designed by members of the Beijing Institute of Architectural Design, who combined three basic styles: modernism in the international style, socialist realism as typified by Stalinist architecture, and a form of historicism based on traditional Chinese architecture. The best known of these, of course, are the Great Hall of the People, located on the western side of Tiananmen Square, the National Museum on the eastern side, Beijing Railway Station, the Workers' Stadium, and the Military Museum. But do you know anyone who's actually been to the Cultural Palace of Nationalities? It's a medium-sized building incorporating traditional Chinese design elements, and has apparently won a number of awards as an example of modern Chinese-style design. It turns out that this palace was registered as the first of 55 museums in the city and, according to the websites, consists of a museum, gallery, library, art institute and theatre. The central 13-story tower houses 18 exhibition halls and a library. The two wings are devoted to entertainment recreation, housing an auditorium, a club and a dinner dance hall. The mission of the Culture Palace was to serve and educate the various minority cultures of the country, promoting minority cultures. Apparently, it has a large collection of arts and crafts, costumes, musical instruments, and religious articles showing off the culture of the 56 Chinese ethnic groups. It also, apparently, has a 4-lane bowling alley, which was donated by a Japanese businessman in early 1985. It, apparently, features performances of drama, concerts, ballets and musicals throughout the year. The Vienna Symphony Orchestra, the Philadelphia Orchestra, the Royal Ballet from Britain and other excellent performance troupes from around the world have all, apparently, performed here. So why can't I find anyone who knows about it? How come this favourite building of Beijing residents, according to many websites, is so completely unknown? Maybe it's time I changed my circle of friends. I decided to broaden my education and set off in search of the place. I'm glad I've had the foresight to actually look up its address, 49 Fuxingmen Avenue, in Xizheng district, since there's not a single sign in English to tell you what it is. A bored-looking PLA guard stands on his lonesome behind a fence. But round the corner is an X-ray machine guarding an entrance into the grounds. I waltz up to the two guards, each drinking from a flask of tea, and they barely give me a second glance as I enter the grounds. A very unused fountain sits forlornly in front of the building, into which I make my way, wondering if there's an entrance fee or whether I need to show ID, which is often the case when a fee is waived. I look around for a ticket office, or an entry guard, or anything, but the place is almost entirely deserted. In front of me is a small staircase of green marble with potted orchids on either side. I decide to take a peek inside. And inside there are two people, a visitor and a guard who is dozing off to sleep. The room is filled with some quite nice pictures, very few of which appear to have much to do with ethnic nationalities of China. Hardly earth-shatteringly great pictures, but pleasant nonetheless. There's a smattering of stork pictures, and some darker, more sombre works, but not a great deal to highlight the ethnic diversity of the country. I speak too soon. I found a couple of ethnic pictures hiding away in a forgotten corner of the gallery. Entry to other floors in the central tower is totally blocked. There may well be galleries upstairs, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get to see them. I move into one of the side wings, where there's a gallery full of calligraphy. Again, nothing that bowls you over. Let's explore on the other side of the building. There's a large poster referring to a display of 2 large-scale paintings by Wang Lishu, one of China's top artists, that perhaps was shown here before winging their way to the China Lounge at the UN headquarters in New York, which has just finished a renovation under the sponsorship of the Chinese government. Wang, now 55, is a founder of the Transcendental Imagery School in Chinese traditional painting, a contemporary take on Chinese ink and wash painting that does not focus on what people see, but focuses on what people feel. His 20 by 8 foot interactive world features a world map which has been made abstract with sea waves, mineral veins, and mountains, and is said to express Wang's love for the planet. Yeah, right. The artist also included elements of pollution and war in accordance with the UN's advocacy for environmental protection, world peace and development. But alas, if ever there was a display here, and I guess we must presume there was, there's only the sight of a firmly padlocked door now, and the only thing we can appreciate is the poster. I make my way round the upper gallery of the central foyer and come across an exhibition of paintings that have something to do with the upcoming Expo Milan, though the Chinese signs leave me none the wiser. Perhaps they will be exhibited there, and another paddock will soon be gracing the door of this particular gallery. If so, I would advise them not to bother. Almost without exception, the works on display are mediocre in the extreme, and it takes me less than 5 minutes to walk my way around them all. I find my way downstairs again and see a door open to another gallery, but alas, it's devoid of anything, save for a couple of interesting chandeliers. In fact, the fittings inside this building are probably the most interesting things to see, so boring is the remainder on display. I make my way out the front entrance once again, no longer wondering why no one is the slightest bit interested in this place. Palace of Nationalities? Oh, please, don't make me laugh.